Hello, guys. Welcome to our mini episode of the Screen Kings podcast. Just a few notes just before we get started. Unfortunately, we are one man down. He's just moved into his flat at uni and unfortunately doesn't have Wi-Fi. So we're going to bring to you a short little episode based around the lovely TV show that we grew up with, Doctor Who. I mean, it's always sort of been a staple in my family. It's like one of the things I grew up with watching my dad. But what about you, Ali?
Honestly, Doctor Who was a massive part of my childhood. I remember sitting around on a Saturday. I had to sit through Strictly, and young me used to absolutely hate Strictly. But I'd sit around and watch it. I mean, I still do. I'd sit around and I'd watch it just because I'd be waiting for that Doctor Who theme to start so that I could finally get to watch what was happening with the Doctor in the next episode.
Yeah, it was always a brilliant one. I mean, like, I don't know about you, but I don't think it was. I think it was always like we had to watch Britain's Got Talent and then Doctor Who was on. I can't remember if I think it was like when I was really into it. It was Britain's Got Talent and then it was Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Or it was like as Strictly was at the same. They changed it at the same time because Strictly's on ITV, isn't
No,
it?
Strictly's always been BBC.
Oh, it's always BBC. I'm thinking of Dancing on Ice. I think.
Oh, yep. I think
Um,
that one's ITV.
Yeah, but obviously, like favourite Doctor. I mean, I'll wait and see what you've got to say first, and then I'll I'll jump in on mine.
I mean, I'm pretty sure our opinion's pretty similar on this one, but my favourite Doctor will always be David Tennant. He just really epitomised the character, and for me, his acting is incredible, and all the writing in those seasons is absolutely phenomenal, and it's just brilliant. He's such a brilliant Doctor. What about you then?
I do really like David Tennant. I feel like he is one of the best Doctors. I think in some cases he's a bit overrated, backstory wise, not backstory wise, but like the way his character progresses is well, it's like a downward sort of spiral. Like
Yeah.
he obviously when he starts out with Rose, he's all like happy and everything, and then obviously as time goes on, his like opinion towards his companions change. But he's actually not my favourite Doctor.
Really?
Matt Smith is my favourite Doctor.
Oh, wow.
And purely because a couple of things, like I was like more understanding of Doctor Who when I was at that sort of age. And I remember when it came out that they had cancelled Doctor Who and it was still Matt Smith, I was so gutted. And I remember like my dad had a newspaper and it said Doctor Who's coming back, and I was like, yes, thank God for that. But no, I just think like his development and like the characters that get involved, and it always felt like inviting to have the Doctor around, and it just felt good for once that he wasn't falling in love with a companion,
Yeah.
apart from Clara, because he did sort of do that with Clara.
Yeah.
But he never really was like very heavy on with his companion. So I just thought
Yeah.
he was a better Doctor in that regard. But
Yeah.
I mean, like favourite season, however, it's got to be David Tennant and Donna
Yeah.
Noble.
I'm going to have to agree
That's
with you
my
there.
favourite season.
It's perfect.
It's not even so much that I like the duo between them because they're just like always fighting.
Yep.
But I think it's also like the last couple of episodes, like the Master Christmas episode.
Yes.
Where obviously he regenerates into Matt Smith. Like that is probably one of my favourite all-time episodes.
It's so tragic. So tragic.
Yeah, and like even though Donna's normally shouting half the time, like, I do think like she's a very good actress, and like how she obviously gets on and like the different emotional spectrum, it just paired very well.
Exactly.
Like, it can't have been like a better pair.
Yeah.
And that season just was like the best for me. And you got a call back to Martha as well, and obviously
Yeah.
you did get a call back for Rose and all the other companions.
Yeah.
And also like the episode of I don't think it's the Day of the Doctor, because that's the Matt Smith one.
Yes.
It's the one where Davros comes back.
Yes.
And obviously they're getting all the planets.
Journey's End and
Yeah, Journey's
Yeah.
End. Yeah, that's one of my favourite, my second favourite episode.
that is
Just because of obviously how many people are in it and obviously
Yeah.
what all happens. I think that's quite brilliant.
all the companions are back.
I mean, what's your favourite sort of? Was that?
All the companions are back in that episode.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like everyone came back and everything. That was even better.
It
You just
was.
saw everyone.
Exactly. I mean, I think my favourite season is probably season 3. I really like the dynamic between the Doctor and Martha. I mean, as much as I love the Doctor and Donna, I do think it's fantastic, and I like that Donna's the one sort of keeping the Doctor in check, because for most of before that he's starting to become a bit arrogant, and we also see afterwards he becomes excruciatingly arrogant. You know, Time Lord victorious and all that. But season 3, you've got Family of Blood, which all my friends go absolutely mental whenever I mention it, because I always talk about Family of Blood. But you've also got episodes like Blink introducing the Weeping Angels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just fantastic. I mean, all of it, all of season 3, I really love.
Well, I do like the callback to the Family of Blood, because you look at the how they portray some of the things about the Doctor that change, like his viciousness after losing Rose. Like, he went overkill with the punishment that he gave to all of the Family of Blood.
Yeah.
Like, that was above and beyond, like, what, like, some of the things the Doctor has done that's on the more evil side. But,
Exactly.
yeah, I do think that's a very good episode. Like, that's a 2-parter as well. That's a quite good good episode. So yeah, no, I do like the callback for that. But I mean, I don't know about you, but what's one of the main things that you fell out of love with about Doctor Who?
I think the writing sort of slowly died, crumbled massively, and in the latter Matt Smith, and sort of after Amy and Rory gone, the writing got a bit weird. And I think the first season of Capaldi is a little bit tough on the ears. But then the second and third seasons of Capaldi, I think, are absolutely brilliant. But then...
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement for that.
When it got to Whittaker, something just went wrong. I think
I'm pretty sure, but Russell T Davies isn't the writer for that period, is he?
No, it was all Stephen Moffat, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, because Russell T Davies is coming back, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I think it was...
that all...
Yeah, it was when Chris Chibnall took over in the Jodie Whittaker era that I really kind of fell out with it. Really did. I thought the writing was absolutely awful in that era, and it really upset me. Really upset me.
Well, the one thing that annoyed me, and I always say it when it comes to Doctor Who, and you've probably heard me say it a million times before, but I fell in love with this programme when I was little because it was aliens travelling, like, in time, like, far back places. And I'm not saying that they didn't do that, but I felt like everything had to have, like, a political or environmental thing going against it.
Yeah.
Like, you look at some of the... I remember there was an episode on Whittaker before I stopped watching it, and it was about... They actually went to Earth in, like, hundreds of, like, thousands of years.
Yeah.
And it was, like, a desolate planet, and... they were like, oh, this is what happened because the humans just kept piling rubbish up, and it's all about, like, saving the environment. Like, I get that that's obviously, like, a current issue and everything.
Yeah.
But seriously, I'm here to watch a programme about aliens, mate.
Yeah.
I don't want to be learning about what we need to do and how we need to recycle.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is...
The same thing with the... sorry to just butt you, but, like...
No.
The episode where... they go back to see Rosa Parks, and that all occurs. Like, I know that's a very big thing in history, and obviously it's a very, like, big thing in terms of political correctness, and obviously, like, a big change, obviously, that helped, obviously, racism and everything, like, be brought to a good light. And I'm not saying that I didn't like the episode, but I just felt like it was so heavy down your throat. Like, there was just no... Like, you couldn't really breathe with it. It was just like, oh, this is exactly what happened. Like, well, I think he picks up a glove for this woman who dropped it, and it's the I can't actually remember what his name was in the programme. Oh, what's his name? Oh, it's really going to bug me. Can't remember
Bradley
his name.
Walsh?
Oh, yeah, but it's not Bradley Walsh, but it's the bloke who plays his step-grandson. I can't remember what his name is, but... yeah, he picks up the glove, and obviously he is black, and she smacks him because back then, obviously, it was disrespectful for black people to talk to white people, whenever not without being like asked questions, and obviously it was a very racist place, but like it just felt like it was just shoved down your throat so much, just in the fact of like saying, oh, we need to stop racism, like
Yeah.
yeah, again. Like, I'm here to watch time traveling and aliens.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I'm just getting force fed political like opinions and everything.
yeah.
It's just not what is really attracting a lot of people. I think, especially like people like us that have grew up with it and fell in love with it. And yeah, we're just obviously not getting the same result. So hopefully, when Russell T Davies comes back, it will at least hopefully get a little bit better.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about
I
Doctor
don't
Who
know.
is that it's always been a politically motivated show. There have always been political agendas being pushed throughout the show, but political agendas are pushed through everything. But it was always a case of nuance. They never spelled it out. But in the Chris Chibnall era, they made everything so overt and obvious. It was kind of like, well, anyone could write that, and it just feels like you're preaching to me. Whereas
Yeah, that's
in
what
the
I mean.
earlier eras, it was just sort of, they'd have the messages in there and they'd explain that they're wrong, but it wouldn't be overt. Like in Family of Blood, when Martha gets racially abused, they recognise that that's wrong, but they don't really make a massive thing out of it. I mean, Martha just wishes that she could go back to her own timeline. And it's really interesting that the writing went like that, because I remember I remember watching an episode, and it was the one where there were the spiders in the hotel, like giant spiders.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I just
I remember
remember
that
it
one.
having the most cartoonish depiction of like a Trump-like figure. And the thing is, Trump's not a good guy, obviously, but do they really need to pile on that he's not a good guy in Doctor Who? You could create a character like Trump and have him be cartoonish, but you have to write him well and not just be a caricature. Everyone needs to be written as a character.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
mean,
just
they're trying to bring in too many like real world elements of it, and it's just that'd be brilliant if it was a program about current events. I could completely understand that, but when it's a program about aliens and the science fiction and the make believe, I don't want to know. I don't want to know about it. Like, there are so many like brilliant things that they've done in that, and obviously like they go back to like the Shakespearean era, and they go to the future, and they go like here, there, and everywhere. Like,
yeah.
it's brilliant, but at the same time, it's terrible
And
because
yeah,
it's
they
all make
also
believe.
Yeah, and when they went back to the Shakespearean era, I remember they even brought attention to the racism of that period, but it never felt preachy or forced. And it just makes no sense to me how the writing devolved that quickly. But
Yeah.
I guess it happens. And just thinking, I remember when Peter Capaldi punched a racist, and that was great. That was a great moment in Doctor Who.
I mean, like, I was so happy. Like, obviously, a lot of people were getting annoyed because it was always a male doctor, and I had no issue with a female doctor. I don't have any issue with Shooty. Is it Shooty Ngannou?
Ncuti Gatwa.
Oh, Shooty Gatwa. I'm thinking of Francis Ngannou. I had no problem with anyone else playing. The Doctor isn't a white man at the end of the day. He is just a figure. Doesn't matter who plays him or her.
Yeah.
It's just
It's a
a
mantle.
person. So that's all I care about. I really do like Ncuti Gatwa in like Sex Education. He's been in a couple of other things that he's brilliant in as well.
Yeah, I
And,
really loved him in the Barbie movie.
Yeah, like he was really good in that, and I have no doubt he's going to give it his all. I just really hope that he pulls it off, because it just like says everything for the fact of it, what everyone was fighting for originally, which was like obviously diversity within the Doctor. He was played by a white man. he was played by like more older middle-aged man, i.e. Christopher Eccleston, then a younger man, David Tennant, and then like a similar age
Even
man,
younger,
Matt what's his face, and
Matt Smith,
Matt Smith, and then obviously we went to the other end of the spectrum. We went to the older gentleman, like obviously Peter Capaldi. Then we went to a younger woman, and now obviously we're back to a man. And I don't think it makes a difference what fucking skin colour he is at the end of the day, as long as he flies around in his TARDIS and he sees all these aliens and sorts out all these issues. But it has to have that element to it. It can't be a shitfest of like, we need to recycle, we need to do this, this is killing the planet and the population, and like I just fall out of love with it for that particular reason. And hopefully with Russell T Davies this will come back to fruition. I mean, hopefully it's the 60th anniversary, isn't it? Or the
it is 60th birthday.
Yeah, so hopefully the 60th anniversary one will because it hasn't come out yet, has it? It's coming out in November.
November, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll bring everything sort of like back to where it should be. But I don't know. You got any last thoughts for our mini episode?
I mean, all I can say is that I just feel massively sorry for Jodie Whittaker, because I believe she.
Yeah, I don't blame her at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she was given the right tools by external parties. It just ended up being a bit of a shit one for her.
Yeah, she was dealt a shit hand.
And I just remember I was watching, I think it was on Graham Norton, and they were talking about obviously when he found out Jodie Whittaker was playing the Doctor, and he was like, Russell T Davies or Stephen Moffat called saying the next person that calls you is going to be the new Doctor. I just wanted to let you know. And then, like, obviously Jodie Whittaker came up, and he was like, he already had her saved in his phone. And obviously, because they worked on a program together, I can't remember what it was now. Broadchurch, I think it was, that they worked on together.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But yeah, that he was like, oh, brilliant. He was so excited, and it hit, like, everyone was so supportive of like previous cast and that. But I just feel like she was just dealt a bit of a crap hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think with a better writing team, she would have been fantastic. And it's just a shame that it ended and was the way it was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I think that's our little Doctor Who event over. But thank you so much, guys, for listening to our little mini episode. As always, I have been our mini host today, Charlie, and obviously with me is Alistair. And hopefully for the next one, Aaron will be here. Thanks so much, guys. Adios.
See ya.